What is it about Daniel that fires you up so much?
This dude put his hand in my throat. It's the first person to actually touch me before a fight.
Actually, you touched me right before because we went forehead to forehead.
Daniel,
You actually touched me right before.
I'm not going to sit here and bicker with this child about this. At the end of the day, the animosity comes from me being alpha and him really wanting to be alpha. The truth is, he's looking at his superior, and he just can't handle it.
You have lost your mind. Superior, you
Yeah.
have lost your mind, son.
Yeah.
You have lost your mind.
Yeah.
When he won the title and after the fight was over, yelled out, "Jon Jones, get your together." What did that feel like to see him with your title around his waist, knowing that he didn't take it from you, but that you took it from yourself?
I just start by saying that Daniel is not the champ. He has the belt, but he's not the champ.
So are you?
I think we all know that.
But you're the champ?
I am the champ.
So you can do anything you want and there are no repercussions.
That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about.
But you lost the belt because of the things you did. They tie together.
You're correct. I lost the belt, but you're not the champion.
Okay, so then there's no champion.
Having a belt and being a
Because
champion
you're not the champion.
are completely two different things.
What is going to be different in April when you guys fight again?
There's some things that have changed in my game.
Yeah.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
things have changed in my game.
I look at a 37-year-old. You're not going to get any faster than you've ever been.
Don't need to be.
You're probably no stronger. I'm younger, stronger,
Okay. Okay, I'm
more
glad you believe
athletic,
that.
and
Once
I'll
again,
beat
your
you
head is- this
10
guy's head's in the
times
clouds.
out of 10 times. Not only do I believe in myself like that, but I work hard. I have a very sickening work ethic.
I don't need to know about your work ethic.
And
I know my work ethic.
I don't think you can match that.
I know my work ethic.
Daniel, who embraced the grind last time in round 4 and 5?
All you did.
Exactly.
You held me up against the fence.
Shut up.
I'm not going to let you hold me against the fence. I'm going to be in your face pressing you, trying to rip your head off every second of that fight.
I'm glad.
I just need you to show up and lose.
Listen,
That's what's going to happen.
when you like that.
That's what's going to happen.
When you
long
like
as you
that.
show up,
Wouldn't that
you'll
make
lose.
things easy for you?
Long as you show up, you'll lose. Now, I know you like to sit there on your high horse, but I'm telling you right now, this is my life, and I'm willing to die to beat you. Because as I've said many times, you don't deserve this. I will die to beat you on April 23rd.
All right. Be prepared to do that.
All right, so we got Jon Jones, and everybody knows what's going on with Jon Jones. He's had the heavyweight division in a chokehold for quite some time. Like he fought and defended the belt like twice, and he's been in the division for like 3 or 4 years. He's been doing a whole lot of hoo-ha nonsense. Here's the deal. He recently retired after essentially teasing that he would or would not fight Tom Aspinall. Tom was wanting to fight him. Everybody wanted Jon to fight this guy. I think him and Tom are like maybe 6 years apart, and everybody was saying, you know, when Jon fought DC, Jon was like 9 years younger, right? So Jon is not giving the young champion an opportunity to get his shot, and they're calling him a duck and all of this and all of that. And as we all know now, Jon went ahead and retired. Now, I think there's a whole lot more to this. Now, what Jon is saying, he's saying, I guess everybody else gets to retire, just not when you're still dominating. Funny how that works. Forget personal goals, forget business ventures. Some folks really believe you should fight until they say you've had enough. Wild. Imagine thinking a grown man shouldn't control his own destiny. Okay, I like what he's saying there because he's saying something that is reminiscent of what a lot of other boxers said. I think it was Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather said it. I think Andre Ward said something similar. I think Andre Ward retired like early into his career. Like he retired in his prime, and he said something similar. There's been people like Megatron, the football player, who said stuff like this. There have been several football players since the rise of CTE and the discovery of it. And Jon is basically, you know, saying all of that. He's saying what they're saying. Okay, I like that. It's legit, but I think there's a little bit more to the story. Now, you guys may or may not know that Jon just got into a little bit of trouble. This is from the MMA Orbit. It says the Albuquerque Police Department. Hold on, let me pause this real quick. It says the Albuquerque Police Department has released portions of body cam footage from the February 21st crash scene reportedly connected to recent misdemeanor charges against Jon Jones. This happened back in February. All right, keep that in mind. This is the phone call police had with a man the woman on scene claimed to be Jon Jones. All right, so I'll start this over.
Killing. Were you the one driving the vehicle?
My brothers attacked the dreams of the sisters and cell phones.
He was the one driving the vehicle.
All right, so Jon is like intoxicated. He's drunk. Jon's an alcoholic and he's a druggie. I don't know what drugs he was on, but they said that the woman's going to go in and say that he was driving the car and he was drunk and intoxicated. This woman is blurred out because she's naked, by the way. Keep in mind, Jon has a wife.
They split girls. They're the most evil people you'll ever meet.
That's Jon Jones.
So she just clearly dropped his name.
Jon Jones?
And the Albuquerque Police Department are very familiar with Jon. He's a recidivist. He's a habitual line stepper, if you will.
He was the one driving the vehicle.
But they don't waste their cases with just killing you or petty crimes. But they definitely listen to conversations like this, and some of them are bored enough to kill you. To kill you.
All right, so the way this was reported is like I can't really make out what Jon is saying, but the way it got reported is that he was saying something in regard to he could have people delete the cop or maybe delete the girl. Either way, this is not going to go well for him, right? He's essentially making terroristic threats toward someone, right? So in the court of law, they're probably going to give him the hardest charge and say, well, you were making terroristic threats to the cop. So there's that.
Because they listen. And they teach me to be a man when I'm a dog.
So, listen to me, man. He's making threats, and if he's making threats, I gotta call an officer out here.
Call him.
So because like this is what I said, the terroristic threats. Once he started threatening people, this became a whole bigger thing. Now this is going to play into his decision to retire, and I'll explain that in a bit.
Well, guess what, dude? You won't be the first guy this year that after it's gonna die.
So now he's saying, you won't be the first guy I've done this to. So you guys see what frame of mind Jon is in with all his drugs and all his issues. You can kind of see where this is going to head.
You get a second one.
And who am I speaking to? You Jon Jones?
What? If you're untraceable, my brothers, they kill people for way less. Sometimes.
All right, so you guys get the gist. This guy's making threats. He was in this car at some point in time. The girl says he was the driver. In the story that I read, I guess they were drunk. They were high, intoxicated, whatever. They ran into someone, and Jon fled the scene, left the girl there. She was unconscious and half naked. I guess she didn't have any clothes on from the waist down. The cop shows up on the scene, and this is what Jon does. He starts to threaten people. Now, I'm going to take you guys to what Dana White had to say, not about this instance, but about the fight between Tom Aspinall and why I personally think the fight is not going to happen. Like, I think it will happen, but it's not happening currently. And I'll tell you guys the reason why. Let me scroll down here.
A long time ago. The fight was done. We had the fight done a long time ago. So why he decided not to fight, you guys will have to ask him that.
Do you think he's ducking Tom Aspinall?
No. He's never ducked anybody other than that one goofy time.
Okay, I want you guys to remember, Dana White said the fight was done. He said it was done a long time ago.
with the Chael Sonnen thing. Whatever changed his mind with this fight, I don't know. You'd have to ask him that, but I don't know. I don't know the answer to these questions. Only he does.
Did you know about the stuff that came out of Albuquerque last night?
I saw it today. When I saw it today, I said, oh, everybody's going to think this is why he retired. Maybe that is why he retired. Who the hell knows, man?
Okay, that's the whole point right there. Jon Jones recently retired. He retired like earlier this week or late last week. And Dana White said he knew about the stuff that was going on in Albuquerque. And he himself said, maybe that's why he retired. Now, I want you to think about this. He said maybe that's why he retired. Why would the stuff in Albuquerque force Jon Jones into retirement? If you remember, Dana White also said
the fight was done. We had the fight done.
The fight was done. They agreed to the fight. There were potentially contracts were signed, whatever the case might be. And then that happened. I personally think that Jon Jones, for as much of a dirtbag as he is, I think he's kind of smart. I think Jon Jones knows that with this latest incident, his wife might divorce him. Because, like I said, he has kids. I think he has 2 daughters. He has kids. I think they're a little bit on the older side. I think they might be like late high school, if not early college age kids. So the wife can, divorce him. She can get alimony. I don't know how much child support she's going to get, but she can definitely get alimony. I think, right? Either way, there could be a divorce incoming. There could be a division of assets. He just bought a really big house in the suburbs of Albuquerque, right? Also, he has this case that's coming up. He's most likely going to get sued, right? The cops could try him for anything, terroristic threats. The girl could say, he got me drunk. He intimately assaulted me because, like I said, she was naked from the waist below, right? The girl could sue him for whatever. If they crashed into another person, which I don't think that they did. I think they might have crashed into like a pole or something. I don't know. If there was a third party, fourth party involved, that person can sue. So what I think is happening is Jon knows he has a huge lawsuit headed his way. So it's better to handle the lawsuit prior to fighting Tom Aspinall rather than after, because then they can sue him for that purse too, right? And the Tom Aspinall, this was the big payday he was looking for, if you guys remember. And Dana, I think he might go on to say, he wanted his money, he wanted a big payday, and this was the payday, and now he's backing out. I'll let him finish saying what he was about to say, but I know I heard that in a different soundbite, possibly this one.
Saw it today. I said, oh, everybody's going to think this is why he retired. Maybe that is why he retired. Who the hell knows, man? But you never know what Jon Jones is dealing with, and then you wake up the next day and so who knows? I mean, I don't know everything that went into this decision. Going to have to ask him if you ever see him again. You saw me talking about it very confidently that this fight was going to happen, and then he changed his mind. I'm looking forward to the Tom Aspinall era. The fight was done.
All right, so he didn't go on to say that, but now you guys can kind of get it. Jon has gotten himself in a lot of trouble. DC was basically a prophet when he said that, Jon is the only person who can beat Jon and that he's never going to change. He's not. But I think this is a strategic move. Jon is going to duck Tom Aspinall for right now. He's going to deal with the charges that come from this. He's going to deal with any kind of lawsuit. He'll deal with any kind of jail time. If his wife leaves and there's a division of assets, I think he's going to, deal with that and then hopefully come back maybe a year later, fight Tom Aspinall, and, win or lose, he'll get his big payday. Maybe. I have no clue. But I think that's what he's doing. I think he's trying to shelter himself from a legal standpoint. Don't really know how that's going to work, because if he comes back in a year, he'll be 38. Tom might lose a fight, and then all of a sudden, who wants to see? I don't think anybody wants to see Jon fight Tom if Tom is lost. I don't think anybody wants to see, Jon fight Francis Ngannou. Like maybe that fight, that fight might be there. I don't know. I think this is more of a financial play, but we'll see.